President of India rejects mercy petition of Nirbhaya gang rape and murder convict Mukesh Singh. Earlier, Ministry of Home Affairs recommended rejection of Mukesh's mercy plea. Russian ambassador to India Nikolay Kudashev says as far as the discussions within the United Nations Security Council on Kashmir are concerned, Moscow has never been in favor of bringing this issue into the UN agenda. Says Kashmir is a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan. Centre convenes a conference of state chief secretaries and directors of census to discuss issues related to census and national population register. All states except West Bengal attending the conference. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani flags off the second premium Tejas Express between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. Services on this train operated by IRCTC will begin on the 19th of January from Ahmedabad. In sports, Indian openers make a solid start in the second one-day international match against Australia at Rajkot. Australia won the toss and put India into bat. Visitors lead the three-match ODI series 1-0. ICC Under-19 World Cup 2020 begins in South Africa. Hosts South Africa taking on Afghanistan in the tournament opener today. Hello and welcome. You're watching DD India and DD News with me, Mandan Bhattacharya. Let's get started with our top story. Acting swiftly on the recommendation of the Ministry of Home Affairs, President Ramnath Kovind rejected Mukesh Singh's mercy plea in the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case. On Thursday, Lieutenant Governor of Delhi had forwarded his recommendation for its rejection to the Ministry of Home Affairs. The MHA has sent the recommendations and the President's rejection of the plea back to the Delhi government for further action. Mukesh Singh, one of the 4 death row convicts in the 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case, had filed the mercy petition a few days ago. The 4 convicts in the Nirbhaya case are facing a death warrant for hanging at 7 a.m. on the 22nd of January. Nirbhaya's parents welcome the decision. Listen.
वकीलों ने कानून का रखवाला होते ही हुए भी कानून का पालन नहीं किया। इस अपील पे 1 साल से सुनवाई चल रही थी, लेकिन किसी ने फॉलो नहीं किया। जब फाइनली कोर्ट ने उनका डेट वारंट जारी कर दिया तो उनको कानून का ध्यान आया कि नहीं इनका अधिकार है। तो ठीक है, जिस तरह से वो कानून को आड़े हाथ लिया, कानून को फॉलो नहीं किया। 7 साल पहले उन्होंने जिस तरह से बच्ची के साथ खिलवाड़ किया, उसी तरह से कानून के साथ खिलवाड़।
देखिए, बहुत उम्मीद जगी है और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ क्योंकि राष्ट्रपति साहब को मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ। उन्होंने जो किया बहुत अच्छा किया और आगे आने वाले 3 हैं इनको भी ऐसे ही खारिज करें।
Russia has again backed India's approach on Kashmir, saying it is a strictly bilateral matter between India and Pakistan.
Your decisions as far as Jammu and Kashmir are concerned, this is your internal matter, belonging to constitutional space of India. This is an issue which was settled in our ties some 40, 50, 60 years ago. It's not an issue in our bilateral relationship, quite frankly. We are repeating it each time, everywhere, multiple times.
Moscow's envoy to New Delhi, Nikolay Kudashev, today said that India and Pakistan should resolve the issue in line with the Shimla Agreement and the Lahore Declaration, and Russia has never favored bringing the issue into the UN agenda. Russia had backed India's position.
This is number one, and as far as the discussions within the United Nations Security Council are concerned, they haven't yet read much. But we've never been in favor of bringing this issue into the United Nations agenda because, in our take, this is strictly bilateral matter for India and Pakistan to discuss on the basis of Shimla and Lahore. And thus, in our take, it is not that much to discuss under the aegis of the United Nations Security Council. This is our continuous.
The Union government is holding a conference with state chief secretaries and directors of census to discuss execution of the census and NPR updation exercise. According to sources, all states are participating except West Bengal, which has given it in writing that it will not be part of the meeting. Both exercises of census and NPR are often conducted simultaneously. While census is a head count of population with basic demographic detailing, NPR is a database containing a list of all usual residents of the country. Its objective is to have a comprehensive identity database of people residing in the country. NPR tracks migration as well as several socioeconomic dimensions that are not covered under the census. Delhi is in full poll mode since the notification of assembly elections on the 14th of January. Parties are in the process of finalizing the candidate lists. Aam Aadmi Party took the lead in declaring all 70 candidates. AAP's candidate from Kalkachi constituency, Atishi Marlena, is filing her nomination today. Congress Party's Central Election Committee also met at party president Sonia Gandhi's residence to finalize the names of candidates. Late last evening, BJP's Central Election Committee met to finalize the party's candidates for the Delhi Assembly polls. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Party President Amit Shah, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh and Nitin Gadkari, besides Working President JP Nadda, among others, held consultations over the names of probables for the February 8 elections to the 70-member Delhi Assembly. Delhi BJP Chief Manoj Tiwari was also part of the meeting. According to sources, the party will hold a total of 5,000 small and big public meetings in the national capital for the upcoming polls. Aam Aadmi Party is facing several questions with the allocation of ticket to Dhanvati Chandela from Rajouri Garden. The mother of the rape victim has alleged that Dhanvati Chandela is a relative of Karan Chandela, whom she has accused of raping her daughter. AAP has denied the allegation and has said that it is looking into the matter.
धनवंती चंदेला जी को पार्टी ने टिकट दिया है और जो ये मामला उठाया जा रहा है उनसे बातचीत भी हुई। उनका कहना ये है, उनका पक्ष ये है कि उस व्यक्ति से उनके परिवार का कोई लेना देना नहीं है, कोई रिश्ते में दूर दूर तक नहीं आता। बावजूद इसके जो मामला आया है उसको हम लोग फिर से एक बार जांच कर लेंगे।
Correspondent Rajesh Raj is now joining us. Rajesh, जो टिकट दिया गया है धनवती चंदेला को, उस पर बीजेपी ने एक बयान दिया है, लेकिन जो आम आदमी पार्टी है वो ये कह रही है कि वो अभी ओपन है रीलुकिंग के लिए। क्या मामला है, पूरा विस्तार से बताएं। Rajesh, are you with us? राजेश, इफ यू आर विद अस, हम आपसे पूछ रहे थे कि क्या पूरा मामला है, विस्तार से बताएं। धनवती चंदेला को जो टिकट दिया है आम आदमी पार्टी पे, उस पे जो प्रतिक्रिया आ रही हैं बाकी पार्टीज को लेके, और जो आम आदमी पार्टी ने अभी जो स्टेटमेंट दिया है कि दे विल रीलुक इनटू द मैटर, विस्तार से बताइए। Okay, we'll try and go across to Rajesh Raj, our correspondent, but this is a controversy that is now brewing over the allocation of a ticket by Aam Aadmi Party to Dhanvati Chandela, who's now been given a ticket from Rajouri Garden. We'll get more updates from our reporter on this. Let's move on for now. Second Tejas train between Ahmedabad and Mumbai was flagged off today from Gujarat's Ahmedabad station. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani flagged off the second corporate train of the country. More in this report.
This is country's second corporate train, Tejas, which was flagged off today by Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani from Ahmedabad. The train, having world-class facilities, will run 6 days a week between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. Passengers will be able to have a pleasant ride through this initiative of Indian Railways towards fast and safe train journey. There will be one executive class coach and 9 chair car bogies with sitting arrangements for 736 passengers in this fully air-conditioned train.
अहमदाबाद मुंबई दोनों को जोड़ने के लिए तेजस ट्रेन जो चालू हुई है, मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आने वाले दिन में अहमदाबाद मुंबई दोनों शहरों को काफी लाभ होगा।
This train will stop at only 6 stations between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. It will start at 6:40 a.m. in the morning from Ahmedabad and will reach Mumbai at 1:10 in the afternoon. On its way back, this train will leave Mumbai at 3:40 p.m. and will reach Ahmedabad at 9:55 p.m. in the night. Many facilities have been provided for the passengers travelling in this train, like free coffee, Wi-Fi, mobile charger point, calling bell at every seat to call attendants, food and beverages, besides infotainment. Passengers will have to book the ticket for this train 60 days in advance through IRCTC website or Rail Connect app. Ticket for this train will not be available on reservation counter at the platform.
भारतीय रेल ने स्वच्छता, टेक्नोलॉजी का भरपूर उपयोग, हाई स्पीड, सेमी हाई स्पीड ट्रेन के कारण समय का भी काफी बचत उनको मिलेगी।
The biggest thing is that passengers travelling in this train will get an insurance of 25 lakh rupees. If any passenger's luggage gets lost during the journey, IRCTC will give him maximum compensation of 1 lakh. If train gets delayed by 1 hour, IRCTC will give 100 rupees as compensation to every passenger. Compensation of 250 rupees will be given to passengers if the train gets late by 2 hours. If any passenger has more luggage, he can avail the facility of it being brought from home to station and taken back from station to home, but extra charge will have to be paid for that. This train has been kept completely plastic free due to environment concerns. There is no doubt that this train will benefit lakhs of passengers travelling daily from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, but will also boost tourism business of Gujarat and Maharashtra. Bureau Report, DD News.
Railway Minister Piyush Goyal today visited the Statue of Unity at Sardar Sarovar Dam in Kevadia, Gujarat. The Union Minister also reviewed the Kevadia railway station development work. The 182-meter tall Statue of Unity has recently been included in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's 8 Wonders of SCO list. The Statue of Unity, the world's tallest statue, was inaugurated in October 2018 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the occasion of Patel's 143rd birth anniversary. India has a high-power communication satellite GSAT-30 was successfully launched on board Ariane 5 rocket from French Guiana early this morning. GSAT-30 is aimed at providing high-quality television, telecommunications and broadcasting services across the country. GSAT-30 is configured on ISRO's enhanced I-3K bus structure to provide communication services from geostationary orbit. The satellite derived its heritage from ISRO's earlier INSAT or GSAT satellite series and is equipped with 12C and 12 Ku band transponders weighing 3,357 kilograms. GSAT-30 is to serve as replacement to INSAT 4A satellite services with enhanced coverage. The satellite provides Indian mainland and islands coverage in Ku band and extended coverage in C band, covering the Gulf countries, a large number of Asian countries and Australia. With a mission life of 15 years, GSAT-30 is an operational communication satellite for DTH, television uplink and VSAT services.
I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Ariane Space, NES and the European Space Agency for this wonderful work. I also take this opportunity to thank the whole ISRO community who have contributed tremendously for this realization of GSAT-30. My hearty congratulations to my own chairman, respected Dr. K. Shivan, and thanks for his continuous encouragement for the realization of this satellite. Yes, an advanced communication satellite of 3.5 ton class.
Seeking to put an end to the 23-year-old Bru Riang refugee crisis, a quadripartite agreement was signed between the centre, state governments of Tripura and Mizoram and Bru Riang representatives on Thursday to facilitate permanent settlement of Bru refugees in Tripura. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed the agreement. He tweeted, committed to the development of the Northeast and its citizens. The agreement will greatly help the Bru Riang refugees. They will also benefit from numerous development schemes.
मोदी है तो मुमकिन है। 97-98 से जो हमारा कंट्री में जो रहते हैं ब्रू भाई बहनों ने निवेरन स्टेट मिजोरम से त्रिपुरा में आए हैं, कांचनपुर। तो उन लोगों का जो ज़िंदगी है बहुत खराब था। मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ मोदी जी को, अमित शाह जी को और हमारा मुख्यमंत्री को। जो समस्या था अपने कंट्री में, अपने लोग रिफ्यूजी था तो उन लोगों को सेटल कर दिया।
Delhi High Court has issued a notice to the CBI in connection with a petition filed by expelled BJP leader Kuldeep Sengar. The petition has challenged the lower court's order of Sengar's conviction and life imprisonment in the 2017 Unnao rape case. Delhi High Court has allowed him to submit a deposit of 25 lakh rupees within 60 days. The Supreme Court has refused to stay the Allahabad High Court's order in Abdullah Azam Khan's case, who was elected as an MLA from the Samajwadi Party. The Allahabad High Court had earlier annulled the nomination of Azam Khan's son for allegedly being below the age of 25 years. The Apex Court has also issued a notice to the petitioner. The Indian Railways has achieved its target of eliminating all unmanned level crossings on its network, with as many as 3,400 being eliminated in the last 1 year. The Finance Ministry in a tweet said that the Railway Ministry worked in mission mode to eliminate all unmanned level crossings on broad gauge. The tweet was accompanied by a graphic image highlighting the achievement. In international news, members of the U.S. Senate were sworn in on Thursday to serve as jurors at the historic impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, who will preside over the trial, administered the oath. Democrat Adam Schiff appeared on the Senate floor to read the two charges passed by the House on the 18th of December, accusing Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress arising from his dealings with Ukraine. Schiff also indicated that the House prosecutors were considering calling Lev Parnas, an associate of Trump's personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani, as a witness if the Senate permits testimony in the trial. Impeachment rules require a two-thirds Senate majority to convict and remove a president. Dismissing charges against him, President Donald Trump said that his impeachment trial in the U.S. Senate will not take long. Let's now go across live to Lucknow, where Lok Sabha Speaker is addressing the concluding session of the Commonwealth Regional Party Conference.
169 देश उस संघ में आते हैं। वहां की चर्चा भी होती है, संवाद भी होता है, लेकिन मैं ये कह सकता हूं कि जिस तरीके की चर्चा, संवाद हमारे सभी सदस्यों ने यहां पर किया, निश्चित रूप से इस लोकतंत्र को मजबूत भी करेगा और उनके संवाद हम जनप्रतिनिधियों को एक नई दिशा देने का भी काम करेंगे। यहां पर हमने विशेष रूप से 2 विषयों पर चर्चा के लिए रखा था और दोनों विषय महत्वपूर्ण हैं और संसद के लिए, विधानमंडल के लिए उनकी वर्तमान आवश्यकता भी है। बजट प्रस्तावों पर समीक्षा के साथ जनप्रतिनिधियों की क्षमता को बढ़ाना, क्योंकि आज जब बजट पर चर्चा होती है, चाहे वो विधानमंडल में हो, चाहे संसद के सदनों में हो, हमें उन चर्चा के स्तर को उठाने की आवश्यकता है। बजट संसदीय प्रक्रियाओं का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है। बजट विधानमंडल में उस राज्य के नियति दिशा दशा को तय करता है, संसद के अंदर देश की दिशा को तय करता है। इसलिए बजट प्रस्तावों पर चर्चा करते समय हमारे सभी जनप्रतिनिधियों की सक्रिय भागीदारी होना चाहिए, निर्णायक भागीदारी होना चाहिए, ताकि हमारे इस लोकतंत्र के मंदिर के माध्यम से हम कार्यपालिका पर भी नियंत्रण कर सकें और सरकार जो बजट प्रस्ताव ला रही है उन बजट प्रस्तावों का लाभ जनता को ठीक से मिले। जिस विभाग के लिए बजट प्रस्ताव रखे गए हैं उन बजट प्रस्तावों का मूल्यांकन भी विधानमंडल और लोकसभा के इन सदनों के माध्यम से होता है और इसलिए बजट पर जितनी सक्रिय भागीदारी होगी और सक्रिय भागीदारी के साथ बजट पर जितना गंभीर अध्ययन होगा उतनी ही सदनों के अंदर सार्थक चर्चा होगी और सार्थक चर्चा का परिणाम ये होगा कि हम जनता को जो डिलीवरी देना चाहते हैं वो ठीक से कर पाएंगे। और इसीलिए जिस तरीके की चर्चा यहां पर हुई, निश्चित रूप से हम सबको जनप्रतिनिधियों के मार्गदर्शन के लिए महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाएगा। दूसरा विषय जो विधानमंडल लोकसभा पार्लियामेंट के लिए सबसे महत्वपूर्ण होता है, कानून बनाना, विधायी कार्य करना। और जब हम देखते हैं कि विधायी कार्य के अंदर कानून बनते समय हमारे जनप्रतिनिधियों की भागीदारी किस तरीके की हो, किस तरीके से उस कानून का अध्ययन करें, जो कानून जनता के लिए बन रहा है, जितना उस कानून बनने के पहले अध्ययन होगा और जितना विधायी कार्य पर डिबेट होगी, चर्चा होगी, उतना ही कानून सही दिशा की ओर बनेगा। हमारे कई विधानसभा के अध्यक्षों ने इस पर बहुत गंभीर रूप से चर्चा की और सबकी चिंता एक ही है कि जो काम, जो जिम्मेदारी हमें जनता ने सौंपी है कानून बनाने की, उस जिम्मेदारी को निभाते हुए हम किस तरीके से कानून बनते समय किस स्तर की चर्चा विधानसभा और लोकसभा में, पार्लियामेंट में होती है, उसके स्तर को कैसे उठाया जा सकता है, किस तरीके से जिन लोगों के लिए कानून बन रहा है उनको इस कानून का किस तरीके से लाभ होगा या किस तरीके से कानून में कमी है, इसके लिए भी सदनों के अंदर व्यापक रूप से सक्रिय भागीदारी चर्चा होनी चाहिए।
You are listening to Om Birla, who is the Lok Sabha Speaker, who was addressing the concluding session of the Commonwealth Regional Party Conference, where he was underlining the need for enhancing the level of discourse within the Indian Parliament as well as in state assemblies. He said that it is important for all parliamentarians to review budget proposals as well as to review all the draft legislations before they are legislated so that there is improvement in the delivery of governance schemes to the people of the country. So those are some of the highlights of what Om Birla, who is the Speaker of Lok Sabha, said. Let's move on to international news stories. The Democrats have called on Senate leaders in the U.S. to allow witnesses at the impeachment trial of U.S. President Donald Trump. They say a failure to do so would be a dramatic break from precedent. Australia has won the toss and opted to bowl against India in the second ODI on Friday. Indian openers Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan gave India a solid start. The duo put on 81-run partnership before Rohit was adjudged LBW. Adam Zampa got the prized wicket. Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli then added 103-run partnership for the second wicket, and they looked in control before Kane Richardson got Dhawan's wicket. The Delhi Southpaw missed his century by just 4 runs. When reports last came in, India was at 198 for the loss of 3 wickets. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala scheme has reached the common people. Under the scheme, gas connections are being provided to the BPL women free of cost. Here is a ground report telling the success story of the scheme in Udhampur district of Jammu.
An atmosphere of festivity has surrounded the homes of women of Godi area of Udhampur block in Jammu as their long cherished dreams have come true. Thanks to Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala scheme, these women have got the first gas connection. Until now, they were using stoves, wood, dried cow dung, kerosene and coal, which not only caused various diseases but also made the process time consuming. However, with the arrival of cooking gas connections, cooking for the women of Udhampur block has become easy.
सिलेंडर मिले हैं बहुत इनका धन्यवाद है.
Under Ujjwala Yojana, BPL card holder women are not only getting LPG connections, but they are also being taught the method and ways to avail the scheme easily. They are also being provided with safety instructions in order to operate the gas stove in a hassle-free way.
पहली बार जो जहाँ पे सिलेंडर दिए जा रहे हैं और इसे गरीब महिलाओं को जो मेरी गरीब पशुबंदा पहाड़ी इलाका की महिलाएं थी उनको बहुत बेनिफिट होगा.
Pradhan Ujjwala Yojana has turned out to be highly Kashmir. Women of remote areas whose eyes had turned weary of smoke have now regained comfort in their lives. Bureau Report, DD News.
In a conservative, war-torn country, Afghanistan, where it is considered taboo for women to dance in front of men, a recently formed dance troupe with female Sama dancers is breaking the frontiers. In January 2019, Fatima Mirzai founded a medieval dance school catering to both men and women in Afghan capital Kabul. Sama dance is a legacy in Afghanistan originating from the 13th century. A well-known poet, Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad Balkhi, also known as Rumi. That's indeed a welcome departure from the news of conflict that we hear from conflict-ridden Afghanistan all the time. That's it then in this edition of the news. News and updates will continue on DD India and DD News.